Hey, welcome back to the Grand Prix predictions. Today, Friday, we do it on time. I didn't do it for the French Grand Prix because I was out. However, we are back for the Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope I did it right. Yes. Anyway, this is the Budapest scenario, and this is the racetrack. Before, originally, there was a corner right here like this, something like this, that it was awful. It's one of the worst racetracks in the whole calendar, for me, for most of the fans. Why? Because you cannot overtake. There's only 2 points of overtaking. One is here, and the other one is here. And basically that's it. Like, if you're half kamikaze, you can overtake here, like, really tightly. And that's it. You cannot overtake here, not here, not here, 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 or here. Like, you must be making this corner really badly so you can overtake here. And of course not in any of these corners. You will just wait for the DRS to overtake in the first corner. So, boring as F. Same like Montmeló, same like Monaco, and other Grand Prix that do not deserve to be in the calendar, like the French Grand Prix that is out of the calendar for next year. Thank God. So let's remember a little bit how the standings are. We have like 63 points of advantage between Verstappen and Leclerc, so the championship is kind of already decided, unless Red Bull screw a lot, and I mean a lot. It's more than 2 Grand Prix that Leclerc should win and Verstappen should retire. So we have some emotion back in the championship. Seeing how Ferrari is managing and stuff, I think it's kind of done. They have to win every single Grand Prix from now until the end. We have less than 10 Grand Prix after this one, so it's kinda hard. So, some quick news. Porsche, there was some leaking some days ago that showed a document between Red Bull and Porsche that Porsche is gonna purchase 50% of the Red Bull Racing, which would also be in the deal that AlphaTauri, the sister team from Red Bull in F1, would get the Porsche engines. It's not official yet. The regulations for 2026 have not been made official by the FIA yet. However, it's kind of done. I mean, if anybody has doubts, it's not logical. Red Bull and Porsche are going to be together for sure. The only question mark is what Audi is going to do. Either Williams or either Sauber, because Alfa Romeo would unlink from the Sauber name, and Audi would purchase Sauber and all the installations. They are already using the wind tunnel anyway, so that's it. So this is a voiced secret, which is not secret anymore. Everybody knows they are doing the deal and everything, so it would be extremely surprising if they don't actually make it official before some Grand Prix. So perhaps like in the summer's break that we have after the Hungarian Grand Prix. Anyway, drivers filled up the FIA survey regarding the porpoising to try to change some regulations. Not all of the drivers agreed to it, but most of the drivers decided after the survey that something had to be done. Russell, in the picture here, was the one that revealed this information. There was a survey that the FIA gave to the drivers, because some drivers were concerned with the possible physical aftermath of the porpoising effect that the current cars are having. So anyway, that's what's gonna happen. The FIA now has to decide what to do with next year regulations, because in theory it's kind of decided already what's gonna be like, and if they put their hands into it, some teams are not gonna be happy. There are some voices saying that if the FIA is trying to change the porpoising regulation, the flexi floors and all this stuff, it's gonna benefit Mercedes, which is not good, blah blah blah. So anyway, there are 6 teams against the FIA doing it. So looks like there will be some negotiations once again, like with the budget cap, and something is gonna happen about this for sure. The porpoising is not good, and it's gonna be disappearing, if not this season, next season for sure, from the F1. And I think this is the biggest news of the day. Sebastian Vettel announced that he is retiring from F1 at the end of this season. There were some rumors many months ago that Vettel was kind of like giving hints of his ideal retirement and everything. last week or this week, I think there were some voices saying that they already started to negotiate the contract renewal and everything for next year. But I mean, it was kind of obvious that Vettel have already abandoned F1. If not this season, the past season as well. His mind is already in his family and fighting for this eco stuff that doesn't actually go with the F1, or not yet, right? The zero carbon emissions and all these things that they are trying to give doesn't meet the current F1, where you have still fueled cars and everything that require lots of pollution and all these things. So yeah. He spoke with Lawrence Stroll, and he gave the decision. It was a quick conversation, and of course now things are what's gonna happen with that seat, the Aston Martin. The car is not the best, however many drivers want that seat because Aston Martin or Lawrence Stroll, which is one of the actionists, is trying to invest quite a lot in the F1 team, right? Installations, engineers, all these things. They are trying to build a new good team, even though Force India, for example, at the end of their no, Force India, sorry, Racing Point was kind of like the third, fourth team, and now they are kind of at the back, so I don't know if this change is gonna be something good or not. But anyway, it looks like it's one of the most wanted seats. So these, in theory, are the most preferred candidates. You can actually add one here that would be Nick De Vries, right? Mercedes third reserve driver, whatever, F2 champion, Formula E champion, and they have been trying to look for a seat for him. So Alonso, Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Piastri, and Nico Hülkenberg. Before, some weeks ago, we already said also here, Aston Martin prefers a German driver to try to enhance their market in that country, which would mean that either Mick or Nico Hülkenberg would be the chosen ones, right? Nico Hülkenberg has been with the team some time, however, against him plays that he hasn't been driving a full season or a full-time F1 car for 2 or 3 years already, so that would play against him. And in his favor has that Sebastian Vettel already gave his opinion that he thinks Mick should be, at least in the consideration of Aston Martin. He's a fast learner, good driver, and all these things. Now that he started to get the points in his second season, Mick is a second season driver, where he starts to kind of get to the peak. Might be into the consideration. They already started negotiating with Haas, however, he is a Ferrari driver and Aston Martin is a Mercedes team, right? So it's kind of gonna be looking that there will be some negotiations needed for that, if actually Mick decides to leave Haas and go to Aston Martin. Once again, Aston Martin is in theory a team that after all this investment and everything, it should be going up, and Haas is a team that should be going down due to their resources, right? Even though they are kind of very closely linked to a Ferrari team, they are getting stuff from Ferrari, so we will see. Actually, with this budget cap and everything, looks like Haas might actually not be the black sheep of the grid anymore, seeing how the only team that didn't bring any updates so far, it's Haas, and they still keep getting points. They are not doing that bad, right? So anyway, the other one would be Daniel Ricciardo in McLaren. We all know Ricciardo is not doing very well in McLaren. The car is not getting into his style. It doesn't allow him to drive the way he usually does it, like naturally, like he did, for example, in Renault or especially in Red Bull. So he would be one of the candidates, right? But they asked him and he said that he doesn't want to go to Aston Martin. So that kind of looks like would be out of the contention, not Daniel Ricciardo. Oscar Piastri is an Alpine driver, and it's kind of linked to Fernando Alonso. If Alonso leaves the team, he will stay in Alpine. If not, he will go out. If Ricciardo leaves McLaren, probably he will go to McLaren. If not, probably he will end up in Williams. However, now that Aston Martin is free, having the Australian driver there would be much better than having it in Williams, right? I mean, for development, it's not like the last car like Williams is. His theory has much more resources, so it would allow him to be better. However, Alpine and Mercedes do have some relationships. Like, for example, Ocon was there before Mercedes released it. So yeah, so Alonso would be, from the Spanish media, saying that it would be the logical option. They need an experienced driver, double champion. What can we say about Alonso that people don't know, right? He's 41 years old, so his career in the Aston Martin team would not be very long. Maybe they would be preferring someone that could stay there for at least like 4 or 5 years. However, his experience in developing cars and everything would be much preferred than all these other drivers, for example. Against him, the high salary and his reputation of destroying teams. This is not said by me. This is said by many people inside the paddock, that Alonso usually leaves teams not in very good terms, right? And he's not a very good team player. Usually, wherever he is, there is some kind of like a team rivalry or whatever that doesn't end up very well. With Ocon, it's lasting. Let's see how long it will last. Anyway, he said that he wants to stay at Alpine. It will only take like a 10-minute conversation to renew his contract. He's earning like around 20 million euros per season. So I don't know if Alpine wants to lower his salary or he will maintain it. But still, it's a huge amount of money for someone who is not winning races or whatever, right? And Nick De Vries, let's not forget, I didn't put it there, but anyway, he is a Mercedes driver, and Mercedes is looking to try to put him in F1 or release him after this season. So De Vries can be free to do whatever they want. So De Vries could be actually a good name in it. He's from the Netherlands, not Germany, but anyway, he's a proven good performer in other categories. F1 is different, but anyway. And he would be in Mercedes engine team, which would mean, in theory, that Aston Martin would get cheaper Mercedes engines. Let's not forget that Aston Martin is kind of like Mercedes. So anyway, those are the candidates, and usually after the summer break, things start to get more clear. Alonso already said that he was going to start to negotiate with Alpine after the summer break. So let's see how things stay after some things are confirmed. So for the race, what is the weather gonna be like? This is from the F1 official website. So chances of rain on Friday, today, 0. Expected maximum temperature 34 degrees. And on the race day, 27 degrees. Chances of rain 80% for Saturday. So FP3 and the qualifying would be under rainy conditions, most probably. Looks like it's gonna rain more in the morning than in the afternoon, but anyway. And for the race, well, it doesn't look like it's gonna rain. Not gonna be that hot usually. Hungary and Grand Prix is one of the hottest in the calendar. It's very, very hot. But looks like this year it's not gonna be. So we are gonna be expecting that. What are the tires? Not abrasive, not water. So C4, C3, and C2. Like, purely put it straight in the middle. Track Evolution 4, it's not a racetrack that is used a lot during the year, so like there are other competitions, but not very much, right? So it will keep evolving a lot around the weekend. However, this also plays against one thing, that outside the racing light there will be a lot of marbles of the tires, so overtaking is even harder that way. But anyway, asphalt grip, it's kind of in the middle. Asphalt abrasion, not very abrasive, not yes, just no, so they chose it here. So probably it's gonna be a one-stopping Grand Prix, even though, as you see, it's 70 laps. Especially if it's not gonna be that hot as usually in previous years, right? Downforce, it's a very, very like this wing Grand Prix. Like Monaco, you need a lot of downforce. Like there's only one straight line, as you see, and all the rest are corners where you need the wings and you need all the downforce that you can get. So traction, braking. So it's not like a very demanding Grand Prix. For me, I don't know why this Grand Prix keeps staying there. Like, it's the only Grand Prix in East Europe, yes. But, I mean, if you give me to choose between Spa and this one, I prefer Spa. But anyway, so we have 4.3 kilometers, not very long. Lap record 1 minute and 16, 306 kilometers. Anyway, let's go to the prediction. I was guessing a lot for Ferrari in the last Grand Prix and Austria, yeah, but however, in France, in theory, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen were gonna fight for the victory. Carlos Sainz with the new engine had some extra push over Leclerc. So we should expect that Ferrari is going to be the stronger team here, especially since Red Bull looks like it's not bringing a lot of updates and they are going slightly to the back due to the budget cap, right? However, seeing how the recent Ferrari screw-ups, the whole season actually, are developing the Grand Prix, I decided to put Max Verstappen first, Leclerc and Hamilton, seeing that Mercedes in the past 5 or 6 Grand Prix, they have always been in the podium for one reason or another. So I will put Hamilton third. So Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, in theory, the best 3 drivers in the grid, with permission of Alonso. And then we have the second drivers, right? Sainz, Perez, and Russell. Perez, I am extremely disappointed with what happened with him in the French Grand Prix. I mean, he had Hamilton, which we all know that Mercedes is not very fast in a straight line. And the Red Bull is one of the fastest cars in the straight line. And he was not able to overtake, not even with a DRS. That was really, really bad image for Sergio Perez. So what can we expect for the rest out of the P6? Usually something happens. Not all of the 6 finish the Grand Prix, as we saw. Leclerc had a crash in France. Hopefully, in theory, he will not crash here. Not many drivers crash in this Grand Prix, actually, so we will see. And for the rest, well, the tendency is that Alpine is kind of the 4th team in the contention, so Alonso should be there. It's one of his favorite racetracks. Let's not forget he made his first pole position here and many victories. So yeah, and Norris looks like McLaren is kind of getting there already, fixing their problems with the drag and the braking. So McLaren should be kind of there. Ocon, the second Alpine, should be there, kind of close to Alonso. Alonso like 5 seconds in the race, something like that. And the 10th should be around Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Gasly, and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, for example. Alfa Romeo should be going kind of okay in this Grand Prix. It's a slow corner Grand Prix, so they should be doing kind of okay. However, I will put Kevin Magnussen because I feel like Haas is doing kind of okay, even without updates. However, Haas is bringing updates to this Grand Prix, so they should get and push forward. That's why I'm putting Magnussen actually in Ricciardo. We know he's not comfortable with the car and other stuff, so let's see what happens from here until Sunday afternoon. So, the quiz. Which of these drivers got his first victory in the Hungarian Grand Prix? These are the 5. Button, Raikkonen, Norris, Ricciardo, and Alonso. One of these Grand Prix drivers got his first victory, or more than one, in this Grand Prix. Do you know it? Put it in the comments. If not, don't. I don't really care. It's just for fun, so we can have some knowledge without looking in Google. Let's not forget. And well, anyway, as usual, we will have the free practice in a couple of hours. So let's enjoy, if we can, which we will not, because it's usually very, very, very boring Grand Prix. So let's see, if in Saturday it rains and the quality is under the rain, it's going to be fun. On Sunday, it's going to be kind of a single line procession. So talk to you either Saturday or Sunday, Monday after the race. Stay tuned for all the other stuff that usually happens there.